Hello and welcome to Green Bay's premier esports podcast. I'm your host, Benozone. To my left and your right is Vindy, the man, the myth, the legend, my manager and friend. Did you know manager is just man-ager? Like a man who gets older?
My birthday is coming up soon. I'm almost 30.
Oh, so yeah.
Finally, the 3-0.
The 3-0.
I'm excited, man.
Wait, I thought you were only 1 year old.
Wait, is Vindy
I'm 28.
or Spino?
Yeah,
gonna
okay, so you're
introduce
almost-
me?
Yeah, I'll be 29
Yeah,
in March.
Yeah, that's cool. Am I what?
Are,
he's
are
older
you
than I am.
gonna introduce me?
Yeah, but I had to do
Well, we're talking about me force, okay?
Damn.
to my
guy never
right
lets me
and
get
your
any
left
attention.
and to
not getting
all of
enough.
ours to all of our above because we look up to him so much is Wolf Clock. Wolf
Hey.
Clock. I
Hey,
saved the best
everybody.
for last,
Thanks.
which is why I skipped Vindy
Not
over
least.
here. Yeah. First is the worst, second is the best, and third with the treasure chest is Sean. It does make sense.
Sean's in the background.
Yeah,
Hey,
Sean's in the
there
background.
he is.
Hello, Sean.
He is our trusty
Hey, Sean, can
owner.
you turn this down by like 30%?
I don't think we need that, do we?
I mean, my ears are not going to make it. David is so loud in my headset.
That's fair.
Oh, that is much better.
Okay.
Heckers, yeah.
See, it was actually pretty loud.
I liked it.
I liked it
I
too.
just
I mean, I
love
can't
the
even
noise in my ear
hear
holes.
myself anymore.
Well, yeah, I'm okay with this.
All right, sounds good. All right,
Yeah.
lit.
All right, thank you.
So first things first, I have some amazing news, and it is that my Overwatch 2 shop is back.
Let's go.
As you may know, I have been suffering for more than a month. I have been trying to microtransact, and I have not been able to. There is a new battle pass, and there is a mythic Junker Queen skin
Oy.
that I really want to get.
Starting
and
out the podcast strong, everybody.
yeah, we are, and I got it back. It ended up just being
There
an
it is.
account merger thing.
The suckling can begin again.
Yeah. I'm thrilled. Also, Junker Queen buffed, so that skin's gonna look great.
Yeah.
When I just one trigger through
Right.
this season.
So, David, what are these pieces of paper around us
Oh
right now?
my god.
Oh, these pieces of paper are outlines. See, one thing you can do with an outline is just use it as an outline and not
Right.
talk about it specifically and just treat it as, the thing we're reading off of. Another thing you can do with an outline is bring it up as if it's a topic in itself. And that's the tack we've chosen here. So what I'm going to do is try to do a middle ground between treating it as a topic and just skipping over the fact that we even mentioned it.
All right.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, this will help us keep a little more organized. I think we're always going to be a little rambly.
Yes, this
Yeah.
is true. So like you are the water in the river, and I am trying to be the creek bed.
I see.
There it is.
Because I am largely dirt, but
Wow,
I
such wise.
I
Much
allow
wisdom.
for I allow for life to flow through
and
me.
I am the trees that are along that creek bed.
Oh, because
Being
you're the
fed by the water.
forest. Oh my god. Yeah, that's really good. Okay. One thing that will rapidly re-alive you inside and outside is the reminder that the Edge Valorant circuit just started up on Sunday.
Yes.
In which Wolf Clock played
No
and
tactics,
did
baby.
very well. Yes, no
I didn't actually do well.
you didn't have to tell him that. I mean, here's the thing. If you want to know whether or not he played well, you can go to Edge Gamers Lounge's Twitch channel and watch him yourself.
We're also live on YouTube now.
Oh,
and we
that's
will soon
sweet.
be also live on TikTok. So look for us on our platforms.
We're going to do a whole lot of those meme dance shorts.
And we have a new broadcast computer that I just built. So
get
that
it.
will be here tomorrow, wiped with a clean slate. So
No
you and Sean,
stutters ever.
you and Sean can work on that and get that up however you want. It's
That's
not
exciting, actually.
it's not
That's
in
hugely
itself
exciting.
an overpowered computer, but for what it is, it's stupidly overpowered.
Yeah,
If that makes
right,
sense. So yeah,
right.
you should have no problem doing anything you want for the next 5 years.
That's beautiful.
This was the computer where I just made a totally random guess that it did 1,000 units.
No,
No,
okay.
that's Sean's.
No, so Sean
many
just built
computers
a
here.
new actual supercomputer
Yeah.
that is the most powerful thing I've ever touched, and it is stupid. But anyways,
I guess on the circuit news, 160 plus viewers. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, on our first VOD.
Yeah,
That's
on
crazy.
our first
actually.
VOD. Yeah.
Well, wait. It wasn't 160 live viewers. I think
No.
we
Right,
peaked
right,
at,
right,
I think
right.
we peaked at 25 something.
Yeah.
Something close around there. But yeah, we had 160 views on the VOD within
Yeah.
24 hours. That
Yeah,
was wonderful.
which is pretty solid.
Well, and we don't even have that many people in the competitive
I don't know
Discord
if it's
either.
just a couple
In
of
the
people
Valorant Discord,
constantly-
not
in the
yet,
circuit Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are just like rewatching it to like do research on their team. Thank you so much, Dad. How many are just researching like lineups or watching themselves or trying to
Right.
run it for clips?
Running for clips. Hopefully everyone's
I mean, I
running it
guarantee
for
it's
clips.
running for clips.
Yeah,
So-
maybe it's
I
just
tried
one-
running it for clips, by the way, and guess what, guys? Freaking Paradox did not have me on my cam for my 3-kill when
I'm sorry.
they decided to troll us with shorties.
That's true. Oh yeah, that was when I was not being the the observer.
Paradox.
Yeah, once
Big
we
rip.
get Andrew in the observer chair full time, I will make sure that you are always the focus of attention.
Yep. So Andrew, shout out to Andrew. He's our Jamie, our young Jamie.
Our
If you
remote
watch-
Jamie.
If you watch Joe Rogan's podcast, you'll know that his sidekick in there is Jamie. And so we're training Andrew. He's the one who edits these podcasts, and he also does a lot of our production work for our circuits. So
yeah.
shout out to him. Awesome guy. Helps us out a lot.
Yeah, he's a great dude. We'll probably be eating with him.
Yeah,
later.
I think we're
Hopefully.
getting some burgers after
Yeah.
we shoot this
Yeah,
podcast.
just
at
like
the
Joe and
Drift Inn.
Jamie do.
Yeah.
Yep, at the Drift Inn. Final shout outs. Final local news bit. Something that I and Wolf Clock are both very, very proud to relay. Our friend Vindy finally bought a gun that wasn't the Ghost in Valorant, and he used it. He didn't just buy it for a teammate, because we've had him do that before. He's had like 9,000 credits, and we're like, please stop throwing the round. And he's like, what? Ghost is the best gun. And then we're like, well, can you please buy for somebody else? But he used the Guardian. The Guardian got kills with it. Played amazingly well, believes in Valorant again, is committed to no tactics, is going to...
He's committed.
He's going to be
Well,
on the
I will
roster
say,
at least once.
I would find myself playing the game more often now that I have my setup at home again.
Yeah.
I was playing kind of on a nerf setup. I had some plans, but they kind of fell through, so I brought my computer back. So, I could see myself playing the game a little more, and I'll be streaming more.
Yeah.
Like at least
Cool.
3 days a week now.
Which is really
Nice.
good, really good.
So, yep.
EGL Vindy on Twitch.
Yep, EGL_Vindy.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I just want to say I really was proud of you.
Yeah.
Like you were clicking heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, at
I was
least 2
also
heads.
pretty intoxicated. That's how I was able to
To overcome your aversion to anything
choose
but the Ghost.
a worse gun than the Ghost in the game. So,
Well, thanks for stooping to our level.
so as I played the other night, there's a new map.
Yes, this was the map you were
is.
clicking heads on. It is Lotus. It is in India for you lore fans, and I dig it.
I liked it a lot too. I like the palette of that map.
Yeah. Beautiful. I'm also psyched that Bind is gone. A lot of Bind lovers in the world.
Yep.
But it had the blandest palette of all the maps, in my opinion.
It did.
I mean, Sand is cool. If any of you are watching from the American Southwest, I think the colors there are cool sometimes in moderate doses.
Yeah.
But all sand all the time, not my favorite. So I like Haven. I like Icebox. I'm one of those weirdos. And I love Lotus. Every map in
Lotus is a beautiful map.
Every map in Valorant has at least one gimmick. So like Bind was the teleporters.
Yep.
Split or these ropes you can go up and down on. Icebox is that it's not fun. Fracture has the 2 things.
Oh, that caught me off guard a lot.
Yeah, so does Icebox. Like you get into it and you're like, this is going to be the good time.
So, would you say Lotus is those spinning doors?
Yes, Lotus is the spinning doors and that one breakable door. There are breakable doors on
breakable doors are
Ascent.
another thing.
Yeah, but the way the spinning doors are the real gimmick.
Right.
It also
They are pretty neat.
They're pretty neat,
awesome.
and I think it's the only map feature in Valorant so far that gives everyone on the map an icon when it's being used. So if a door is rotating,
Oh, everyone sees it.
everyone sees it. If a door is
'Cause you
rotating,
can hear it.
It's
I
a
guess.
faithful narrator.
Yeah. It's like, so far that's only been like a sentinel thing. Like a cipher wire goes off, and then you know from the other side of the map that like somebody's touched a thing. Now I think that's going to be really interesting. It's hard to sneak through them, but you can also give false information.
That's what I'm thinking. It'd be a good.
Oh,
bait.
right. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm excited for that. I dig the map. It's also going to join the competitive queue on the 18th of January.
Do you think
very
this
soon.
will affect like the meta of
Yes.
the game?
I think it will
Well,
absolutely
unless
affect
it just
the meta.
gets banned all the time.
I mean,
But I
perhaps.
think the map is fun enough where it won't be banned.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly is going to happen besides not seeing Happy Dino play with the Marshal every time. No tactics, Happy Dino, belover of the Marshal, doesn't like this map, and that's the only reason he can give.
Well, he can only play effective on one side of the map.
Yes, he
that's
can
why.
play on A. There's one lane on A, and then like kind of a lane on
You
C.
can actually play mid. You can play B with a Marshal though.
Yeah.
If you
play
use
in
a
the very
ghost, you're
back.
effective at all ranges and all situations.
That's really interesting.
That's
I'd love
right.
for you to
even
mention
at
the stats sometime.
150 meters.
Yeah, even then, on a pistol round,
Right.
Definitely. Yeah, which are at least 4 of the rounds in the game of Valorant.
Right.
Yeah. The meta is going to change. A big effect of the meta is something we're still living through: the chamber nerf. Chamber getting nerfed means that the agent with the op is kind of up for grabs. Jet is seeing a lot more play, both in ranked and in like the competitive scene.
Yep.
There's a Valorant Challengers.
Cypher apparently is getting more use.
Yeah, Cypher's getting more use. Part of that Split's back. Split, like the second most hated map, I think. I kind of like it. Part of it's the color palette, but like it usually goes Icebox and then Split. Cypher's good on that map. And we're getting rid of Breeze and Bind. Those were 2 places where...
Wait, because Split is back, so Breeze is going away now?
Yeah, Breeze is going away. They're going to like work on it. There was just always Chamber. It was one of the stalest meta maps that there was. It was always Jet, Chamber, Viper, KO, Sova.
Okay.
Or you like swap out one of those for a Cypher. Like FPX in the final had a really clutch Cypher play. It was really cool. So yeah, we're getting some more Cypher because Chamber's worse off. Other Sentinels are going to fill the role. So you've got people who are experimenting with Cypher, but a lot of the excitement is around Killjoy. Killjoy is, at the time of this video, the most played agent in the current tournament that's going on, the Valorant Challenger Series.
Like, what's the pick rate?
69%, which is nice. Yeah. She has a very good kit, and also her biggest counter in the her biggest counter in the past was the Breach Aftershock. She could her ult could be destroyed by like Breach's cheapest, in some sense, most useless ability. She'd like throw it down, and then Breach would
there's
just
like
get
a
on.
hard counter.
There was a hard counter. Then they increased its health, and so it no longer dies to that.
Cool.
So
I didn't know it.
it's cool. It also means she's going to be used on almost every map. Maps that she wasn't constantly used on include Breeze and Bind. And those are the maps that are leaving the map pool. Almost everything else she's like very frequently picked on. So you're going to see a lot of Killjoy in your games. Slash if you want to level up.
Plus, I mean, she's getting it on with Raze now too, which is good for her.
This is of
pick rate.
course the most important thing. There's the esports meta and there's the lore meta.
Right.
Right now, the most meta part of the lore is the Raze Joy relationship.
Right.
Raise Joy.
Raise
Okay,
Joy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
You have shown me some League of Legends lore videos that I've really dug, and I still want to see more of them.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more.
I have got to show you the thread that the official Valorant Twitter account produced of the whole story of Raze and how she bought a new hat for Killjoy. I mean, I don't want to spoil too much. I mean, they're in a relationship now, but Killjoy forgot her hat when they all went on vacation, and she was so sad. And then you see like Raze in the market, and yeah, it's It's official. It's like Riot sanctioned.
Yeah,
I see. It's almost as nice as like an Overwatch story, an Overwatch cinematic.
This is true. One fun Overwatch story is that some of my favorite players from Overwatch have transferred into Valorant now, including, well, Saya player had been, but Carpe of Philadelphia Fusion fame is now joining T1, the Valorant organization.
Yeah.
And the team he used to be part of, the Philadelphia Fusion, no longer exists. It has rebranded and relocated. It is now the Seoul Infernal as of the 30th of December.
Now, when you say Seoul, you mean
Seoul, South Korea, baby.
so we had an American city-based team
Yes.
get bought out, and now they're
So they're owned
Wow,
by like
how does that
Comcast
work?
Spectacor, and Comcast Spectacor is like co-owns with T1.
yes, I think so. Yeah.
So and
I think I knew
T1
that.
like they have had American presence in esports. Sometimes
Yes.
the T1
Well, the CEO of T1 LOL is American.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
that
not
makes sense.
Korean.
That makes
Yep.
sense.
Joe Marsh.
So they have a big presence in the U.S., but they also have a lot of teams where there are a lot of Korean players, and it just so happened that the Philadelphia Fusion at the start of the pandemic had mostly Korean players.
I'm actually going to look up real quick because for some reason I'm even thinking that
Info drum roll.
T1 LOL Esports. I don't know why, but I almost feel like they are actually owned by a U.S. based company.
Really cool.
Yeah, because SKT used to stand for South Korean Telecom.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
you would also have another team in Korea named KT Rolster, and they were Korean Telecom, and they were like the sister teams almost.
Yeah.
But now I'm wondering if here it is, T1 Esports. It is owned by Comcast.
Comcast,
There you go.
yeah, okay.
But only a 34%.
Okay.
So South Korean Telecom does hold the majority.
Got
that
it,
would explain
got it.
where Joe Marsh came from.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
I just wanted to see real quick because it sounded super familiar, but I was like kind of hazy on that.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Well, that's just kind of crazy though. That one team was bought by a different country.
it is
and they
kind of
just
nuts.
move over.
Yeah. So
I mean, if they had the players, that's their homeland. How
it
cool
is.
for them.
So
Yeah.
Did the players transfer over then?
yes, the players are all like a lot of them were Korean and like came from Seoul,
Like, culturally
or other
Korean
players.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when they relocated, a lot of them were just living either closer to their family or like very near where they had been.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it just made a lot of
South
sense.
Korea is not a big country, so
It's
I mean,
it's
if you live there, you live by
if you
your
live on the
family.
opposite side of the country, you're like an hour away from where you.
I don't
grew
even
up.
know how big the country is compared to like Texas, but I don't think it's
Texas could eat several South Koreans.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
probably.
But I don't know. I always get nervous now when I talk about the size of places because there's
Size doesn't matter.
the effect of when you look at something on a globe, it's
Oh, yeah.
stretched.
Yeah.
Anything below or high up or on the equator,
I think they're both
becomes
fairly close to the equator. Don't
ish.
Closer than Wisconsin.
Yes, this is true.
Well,
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's Texas can eat a lot of South Koreas.
True. They can eat a lot of stuff.
They're gonna have to like kimchi if they want to, right? Like that is South Korean cuisine, from what I understand. But yes, if you think that is crazy, another country buying an U.S. organization because it worked out, you should hear about the Los Angeles Valiant, who several years ago was bought by a Chinese organization, and all of the player contracts were terminated or were bought out. And instead of having this Los Angeles Valiant team with a dedicated fan base, suddenly they still were called the Los Angeles Valiant, but they were an entirely Chinese organization owned in China, performing in like the APAC region, and they didn't do any rebranding efforts at all. To this day, they remain the Los Angeles Valiant, and they have no American players, no American staff. They operate entirely in China. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
You know, all right. So for any of you,
They just
Riot,
thought it was the brand.
I'm just saying. So, and we'll get onto this later, but Riot's in a lot of trouble right now with their League of Legends community, probably the most they've ever been in.
Tell us about it.
But the very fact that just happened in Overwatch, that would never
it was
happen.
a couple of years.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it's
That
a
would
meme.
never happen. Riot would die before that happened. Like something crazy like that
Yeah.
happened. Riot is so protective over their IP in that way.
So
I mean, not that Blizzard
yeah.
isn't protective,
Well,
but
so
that is ridiculous.
How are Riot and Immortals? Are they like close? Isn't Riot mad at Immortals? Because like Los Angeles Valiant was
That
an
is
Immortals
some-
team and was owned by the
that
Immortals.
is some BS.
Yeah.
The Immortals.
Because didn't they?
So, do you know anything about the Immortals and Riot breakup?
It had something to do with Immortals liking Overwatch.
Speculated.
Okay,
It all goes back in a land before time.
Tell me, Papa Vindy.
All right. Well, actually, it starts with Monte Cristo.
Real? I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to do Overwatch things.
Yeah.
That's the only reason you like him.
All
Well,
right.
he's also very good at what he
So,
does. and
so
he's
here's
funny.
the deal. It kind of goes back. Monte Cristo has nothing directly to do with the Immortals, but it set a precedent. Okay.
All right.
Such and such and such that such and such happened. Basically, Monte Cristo was owning an esports team.
Renegades?
Yes. Wait. Okay. You do know your stuff. All right.
Dang,
I wasn't
look
even
at
going
him.
to say the name because they're so,
Flexing
well. They're
on
just
y'all.
so like
Or yeah,
they were so
Esports lore.
short-lived.
Yeah.
Right. Basically, from memory, and again, I could be getting some of this wrong.
That's right.
From memory, one of the owners of Renegades, Riot did not like, and they basically they accused Monte Cristo of doing some shady stuff, which I do not believe. I think Monte Cristo's character is very tried and true from over the years
And over the watch.
of just over the years of being around the scene. I don't think he's ever had any sort of criticisms or anything. I'm a big fan of Papa Smithy, who he used to co-cast with, and who now was the general manager for 100 Thieves and is now looking for a new team. Anyways, in my personal opinion, from what I've seen on the internet, I think Monte Cristo, I mean, he's very disagreeable as a human being, but like I think he's a fair human being, right? So he alleges that Riot treated him very unfairly and, was just kind of shady about all of a sudden saying, you cannot have this team anymore. You have to give the team up and sell the team. They forced him to sell, and they basically kicked him out of the whole scene. And that was like, whoa, to a lot of people, because this is someone who is very in the front light of League. He casted LCK, the Korean League of Legends. So the most famous League clip of all time is Monte Cristo and Doa. Oh, Faker! Like, that was them, right?
Doa, Wisconsin proud. From Wisconsin.
Doa's from Wisconsin?
Yeah, Doa's from Wisconsin.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I did not know
OG
that.
Packer fan.
And it sucks too because now, like, I think Doa is now like he casts some like TFT games, which is good, but like he gets like 3,000 viewers, like max on like a tournament. You know, it's a fall from grace. But anyways, there's all this other controversy around it. When that happened, I think that was the first time that people were like, "Wow, okay, Riot feels pretty strongly about this. That they're actually like, you have to sell your team." That's pretty crazy. But the stuff they were alleging was pretty serious, even though Monte Cristo was vehemently denying it.
Yeah, man.
Regardless, whatever, okay? Then Immortals happened. And what makes Immortals special is Immortals won the LCS.
That seems very big.
They won it within like 2 years, okay? And then they win, and then franchising happened, and they applied to be a franchisee, and they got denied. With an amazing roster, and they won LCS. Like, how much more committed is a team going to be to your product? They literally won LCS.
Yeah, and so they put everything into.
But yes, Immortals was also in to Overwatch because their CEO, pretty smart dude, I forget his name. Do you know his name?
Noah.
Offhand?
I think
Noah. Yeah, I don't remember
Noah
his last
Smith?
name. Yeah, it is something like that.
Brownie
yeah.
points if I get it.
Noah Brown.
Yeah,
Noah. Yeah. Anyways, they basically just said they'd never released a reason why. I think they just said that, your brand guidelines aren't what we are looking for, which is utter complete nonsense. Okay. So yes, everyone was speculating that it was Overwatch.
Yeah.
Oh, you're investing in a competitor's league, which on the face of it, I get that. But literally the team just won the LCS.
Yeah.
It's
They do
just
that
it's
for,
just
like Optic. If Optic owns the Houston Outlaws, are they not allowed?
right,
to be? Yeah.
right. Oh, and I think that was part of because Optic was a team, right? And they allowed Optic in.
Yeah.
And here's the crazy thing: Immortals is back.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. Well, they were for a while. I mean, if I remember right, unless I'm out of the loop, I think Immortals actually came back into the LCS, but then they were bought by. Oh wait, no, I'm confusing two things. I apologize.
That's okay.
The Immortals thing was just wild, crazy. Immortals spent, I think, the most money on a player facility out of anyone.
Oh, damn.
It was like a $40 million facility.
That is such a backhanded move by Riot.
Oh, it was absolutely nuts. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's why I joked when like the Overwatch thing like was bought out and moved over. Like Riot would never allow anything like that to happen because that is just not their MO.
Yeah.
And the only other team that I think Riot is kicked out is Echo Fox. And bless Rick Fox's heart, because that guy, he loved this game and he brought in a lot of money and a lot of like coaching and development, and he got royally screwed over by the LCS and by everything. It was awful. It was really awful to watch that.
Pour one out for him.
Honestly, yeah. If you go look, I'm pretty sure there's actually a Netflix documentary
Oh, wow.
on like.
I think it was Esports.
Maybe it was
a YouTube thing.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was maybe it was a
It
YouTube
was
doc.
like
but
Esports reporter or whatever it was.
yeah, but I mean, Rick Fox got screwed over by a racist on his board, and Riot forced them to sell to Dignitas. So now Dignitas is back in the LCS. Man, that whole I felt for Rick Fox really hard. Like that was just because even players were like, dude, Rick Fox like pumped us up. Like players that weren't even on his team.
Right.
Like Rick Fox was like a very like emotionally supportive and helpful guide to because he was young. He was NBA, like one of the best to ever play the game. And yeah, it was just terrible. It's terrible. That whole thing was awful. I'm a little hazy on it because at this point it's kind of ancient history in the esports world, although it shouldn't be. But yeah, he invested a lot of personal money into that, and to have it all kind of just wiped away was just wild. Wild. Anyways.
Only the good die young or something.
Yeah. It was rough. It was rough being an LCS fan during the Echo Fox blow up, and I was never attached to Immortals. They had one of my favorite players on it, Poe Belter, the notorious POB, who I've always been a mega fan of. So that sucked for him. He's never really recovered ever since Immortals blew up. But yeah, the Echo Fox thing was just crazy. That was just wild.
But correct me if
We
I'm
lost
wrong.
a good one.
But everything having to do with League of Legends today is perfect, and there are no issues whatsoever, right?
No, right now, Riot is probably in the most trouble it's ever been in its community.
Really?
Yeah.
What a turn of events.
Yeah.
There's something about a really bad cinematic.
Did you hear that from me? Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
You told me, but I didn't
Yeah.
watch it yet.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess we can tune in for the 30-minute League of Legends portion of the podcast.
Yeah.
So Riot. Here's what's been going on: is Riot is at this weird point where they have Valorant, League of Legends, TFT, soon Project L.
Yep.
Which is their new tag team fighter.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Which is going to be huge. Legends of Runeterra.
Yeah.
And then all their partnered third-party games. So like,
Not to mention the MMO that they're building.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
oh my god, no, it's confirmed.
Okay.
Yeah, the MMO is going to be
Massive.
It's going to be huge. I mean,
So it's a massively multiplayer.
It's an
game?
MMO. Oh, geez.
so the problem is
RPG.
what you do. And you have to understand it from like a business side of things, okay? League of Legends was made on Java. Okay? It's a really
Which is an absolute terrible language.
it's a very, very
anyone
old
that's not a programmer.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Forrest is, so yeah, he knows what he's talking about there.
We have a couple of those legacy
how-
applications
yeah.
at my employment.
Wait, so how is it for people who are programmers? Like not just awful, or is it still pretty?
No,
I'm
he's saying
just saying for
just-
people that don't know programming.
But like for you,
yeah.
like does it have like charms for the people who know its ins and outs? Or
No,
is
it's terrible.
Okay,
It
so
needs
it's
to be
terrible all
retired.
around. Sounds
So basically,
There's one company keeping it alive.
Oracle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the only reason why it's still used.
And even then, like, you're not going to find it on like the general web anymore. Like, you can't even play Flash games really.
No.
Yeah, because Java Flash is dead.
Yeah.
Which is like it just killed like. Shout out to Armor Games, Congregate, and there's another big one. But those were my childhood. I played Flash games for like 5 years.
Did you ever use
Shout outs to Newgrounds.
Newgrounds, yeah, that's the other. And Mini Clips,
Mini Clip.
yes.
Mini Heli Attack 2?
Yeah.
Those to me are the big four. Congregate, Armor Games, used to be Games of Gondor. Holy crap, Games of Gondor! If you even knew that, that was before Games of Gondor rebranded to Armor Games. But yeah, and Newgrounds, Mini Clips, and Crazy Monkey Games. That's an honorable
yeah.
mention. Anyways, I digress.
Addictinggames.com?
Yep, I know
Yeah,
addictinggames.com.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
also an honorable mention.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure those crazy monkey games and addicting games are like the same company.
Okay,
their
okay.
websites look so similar.
Yeah.
Please comment actually if you were on Games of Gondor or any of the addicting games or crazy monkey games, because those sites are like OG sites.
Yeah.
Like you only knew about those sites if you grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because like it's yeah. Anyways.
Please comment if you played Heli Attack 2. I want a bond.
So League of Legends was made, it's just the engine is so old that there are literally skins in the game that break it. Like,
Oh my god.
yeah, because the skins are like too complex for the engine to handle. There are certain skins in the game that will tank no matter what your PC is, that will tank your FPS just because like the engine does not do well with it at all. So like the fire skin for Zyra, notorious for like, I mean, even on my system, I'll go down to like the hundreds, which sounds goofy, but if you know my system, like that should never ever happen.
Yeah.
And the Lux skin, there's a $40 Lux skin that pushed. Riot said they'll never make a skin like that ever again because it pushed the engine to the absolute max. Right.
Jeez.
So what's happening is thematically that's the only new content they can push. They can't push skins which fund the game any harder because already like even just having like 2 Elementalist Lux skins on the same game. Like if you had like 2 of those on the same map, it would break the game. So if you had like a third, it's 100% like the game will crash.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, like it's just not able to physically run. So what's happening is as a business, it doesn't make sense to try to acquire these new skin lines to get whales to buy them, right? Because like it just doesn't work.
Whales the
Whales in the
technical term-
gaming sense, someone who spends more than like I would say $300
Right.
on a free to play game in a year.
Honestly, I would even say over 60 is
Over
considered
$60
a
for a
whale.
whole year though?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You probably have more insights to that being in a development area. I'm sure you've picked up on stuff like that.
Yeah.
To me it's like 300. But that's fair.
I just wanted to make sure
I
we
guess
weren't,
I don't even spend $300 a year on League of
Right.
Legends,
like
but
selling to the county in the UK, the Welsh.
okay.
Got him.
So anyways, so what's happening is it feels like, and they deny it, but it feels like what's happening is Riot's like, well, we just need to focus our endeavors on these newer products
Okay.
that can be supported into the long run, which directly contradicts we want League of Legends to be multi-generational.
Yeah.
Like what other game has ever said that? We want to be multi-generational.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Can I ask a really dumb question?
Yeah.
Also, sorry, didn't like the maker of Sonic the Hedgehog go
Yeah,
to
he just
jail?
passed away.
Oh.
No, I thought he passed away.
I swear there's a guy who made Sonic went to jail for
Oh, I don't
like
know.
insider
Yeah, I
trading.
didn't hear
I
about
thought someone
that.
just passed away that was like
really?
a Sonic.
Maybe he passed in jail. Like, yeah.
Who knows? I like how you're just totally slandering this guy's name on the internet.
Well, he already did enough for himself. Like we really need a fact-checking section of the everyone. No one's getting out of this
go into
alive.
the description box and just be like, correction.
But yeah, the dumb question, the really dumb. So like, why can't they make League of Legends again, but not
League
on
of
Java?
Legends 2?
Yeah, League of Legends 2
Yeah.
is a
Right.
must.
That's a great question.
Because
Wait, it's
everyone
not a
would
dumb
probably
question?
No, it's actually a great question.
You think it's just because the amount of money that players have poured into League of Legends?
No, I don't
Okay.
think it's that. First of all, I don't think you're going to be able to make the game feel the same.
No.
And
But why would you want to?
And well, the problem. Okay, well,
Because people
here's
could
the deal.
still play League of Legends.
Here's
1.
the deal: the pro scene will need to remain on League of Legends 1
No.
because the pro players are not going to just play League of Legends 2. I don't think they're just going to go to a brand new engine and be like, oh yeah, this is cool. You know, something that I've spent.
I mean, they could.
I mean, you got to think these pros have
Riot would have to
like, especially the veterans. We're talking 25, 30,000 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a lot of time. I mean, I've seen it in the Age of Empires community, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got a game. I mean, League is approaching its 15-year mark.
Right.
Okay, Age of Empires 2 pros, they went over to 4. They're like, oh, this is the new thing, right? First of all, they never went to 3. Pros never went to 3. No one liked the way it felt.
Yeah.
Completely different time
3
period.
was a story game.
Sure. 4, Age of Empires 4, the pros went over. Most of them went back to 2.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they'll still play in 4 because they're good enough. Just they have the APM to play a RTS
Yep.
at that level. But you know, if you ask them, like, there's a $100,000 Age of Empires 4 tournament or a $75,000 Age of Empires 2 tournament,
They'll do the 2.
they're gonna do the 2, right? Because that's the muscle memory, that's the engine they know. Everything feels correct. I mean, and just think about it yourself, right? What if Overwatch came out with a new engine?
With Overwatch 2?
No, what if it was truly
That was the bomb. Can I
I mean, it would be like the difference between Age of Empires 2 and Age of Empires 3. I mean,
I don't think so.
I think League of Legends 2 would be that different because Riot has talked about many different things that they would do differently, right? There are certain things there are certain game mechanics they cannot do. Elevation. They can't even do elevation in this game.
In 1, right.
There is 10, yeah, but that would change the game.
wow.
Yeah.
Massively.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a hill.
The elevation in the game is fake in League of Legends. The map is painted. It's all painted.
Yeah.
So there is technically elevation in 2 spots of League of Legends, but it's not represented by the visual point of the game, which is why you can miss skill shots in certain spots on the map.
Right.
But there's no way to like see it. You can't actually see it. You just have to know that intuitively.
Okay.
It's the
If they
in
make
the
League of
river
Legends
area,
2, they're
right?
actually going to put elevation in the game. The engine will know.
Yeah.
And be yeah. So like little things like that.
Yeah.
And I could see them going crazy. Like, why not give damage bonuses to things on higher elevation?
Yeah.
That makes logical sense.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna create spells and champion kits. Like now you have to redesign champions for a different engine as well. 156 champions.
Yeah. But you don't release them all at the same time.
No, that's not gonna be okay.
Yeah,
You
it
kidding me?
would.
Zero chance. I wouldn't play the game.
You,
Dude,
you would play the game
my
in
pool-
3 years that it's been out.
My pool
once the
is
pros
only like
have-
20 characters. If they're going to redesign characters but not release all the one, what are there going to be 2 characters that I play?
Would you think that they would like shut down League of Legends 1 though when they release League of Legends 2? No.
No.
So where were we?
All right. Sorry about that. I kicked a button. I didn't even realize something was beneath my foot, and we like tuned out.
That's Sean's problem or fault.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's Andrew's fault.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Andrew's
right.
fault.
He
Yeah,
told
yeah,
us he was going to meet up with us, and then it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
are you?
We're like, what's going on? Anyways, I think we were at where like League of Legends 2 would kill
Yeah,
League
yeah,
of Legends
yeah.
1. Yeah, I 100% do not think Riot is running multiple
I'm
servers.
just so interested in this whole thing because, like, one, I don't know a lot about
Sure,
things and like the underbelly of how you make a game.
Sure.
Oh, right.
I don't even know. Like, one cool thing about Edge is that we offer summer camps in the summer. Check it out, kids and parents.
Ooh,
but like
yes.
one of them,
We offer a game developer camp this year.
this
Yeah.
is true. They like the kids are doing RPG Maker, and I just have like
So
I'm
many
trying
ideas.
to wrap my mind around it. Like,
okay.
okay, I guess. Well, I could sit down and have ideas, but I'm also like, well, one, I don't know what they're doing exactly, but like, how do you even make the program that lets them do what they're doing?
Yeah,
Put all the pixels in place. And
Sure.
I know, like, at bottom coding is a bunch of if-thens, right? And I took some formal logic. I mean, yeah, it's a terrible. This is my level of understanding, and so then I
Yeah,
see,
cooking
like,
generally involves heat. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
It's essential. It's absolutely essential to cooking. But so like Overwatch, and well, so I guess this is the nice thing about it being Overwatch 1.5 is they could update it a little bit without having.
Well, they
to,
didn't fundamentally change the game engine.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you go from StarCraft to Brood War. That was a huge update, but it's the same engine. But StarCraft 2 is a completely different engine.
Right.
Completely different engine. And that's the thing, too. Like, do devs want it to feel like the first? Generally not, because it's a new game. They're trying to, like, do something that is in the spirit of the original.
Right. Yeah.
You know? But that's the thing, too, is, like, I like to use Age of Empires because it's really one of the few esports, that has really lasted long and has had multiple generations.
You mean it aged well?
It aged well. But so Age of Empires 1 is still played by a lot of people, but 2 has always been considered the Age of Empires.
Is it like Melee, like Smash players?
I think if you're super competitive at Smash, you consider Melee the holy grail of the game, right?
Well, and if they ever made another League of Legends, League One would become the Melee of League.
I'm not sure.
Oh, it would.
I am not sure. Like there was a project that these independent devs set out. It was I think it was something like memories or something to do with like memories.
Some MOBA.
They made League of Legends in season 4. You could play old League of Legends.
Oh, weird.
Yep, you launch into the client and it would play. I forget which patch it was on, but you would just play old League of Legends, and like in its state of just like this random.
How long did that
random
last
patch?
before Riot?
Oh, Riot shut it down.
Yeah.
Because, and that's my thing is I think they'll kill if they ever made a League of Legends 2, they will resurrect League of Legends 1 as like vanilla.
Like
Classic.
RuneScape Classic.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And they'll do something like that because that's in their back pocket, right? The nostalgia factor is going to be big.
I don't think they remake League until after they release their MMO, though.
I don't think they're making a League of Legends 2, period.
I think they will.
I don't think so.
Also, like CS:GO is still.
I think the
around. It's
most
not-
that they will do is do a new map, and that will be the last. Because when the difference
Why
between
would you,
League of Legends,
though, if you have an archaic engine, even put any resource into
I just
putting
think
another map into it when you could just rebuild the whole thing?
the map is much easier to do than creating 156 new champions that had to interact with each other, man. There's a reason games do not release that
But
many
you're
characters at
telling
once.
me already though that they're having limitations based on what kind of funding that they can get out of this engine.
I
Strictly
know.
because of the
that's
cosmetics.
why it makes more sense to pivot into Valorant. Dude, MOBAs are
for
hard.
the time.
No.
For the time. And
MOBAs
then
are
the
hard.
MMO, I guarantee, will just float them
How
into
many
existence.
kids do I have coming to the arcade? They're like, yeah, I heard of League, but I just don't want to have to learn it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, same.
Oh,
That's my point. It's too
I don't
hard.
wanna learn
And then
it.
and then
Yeah,
I'm
me
like
neither.
I'm like
There's such a
imagine
curve. Like,
and then imagine trying to learn an RTS. That's why they're all dead.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's like a
RTSs are
chore,
easier
man.
to learn than MOBAs, though.
What now?
I believe RTSs are easier to learn than MOBAs.
Maybe a little
But
easy.
I
Maybe
did
okay.
also
Maybe a
have a
little
lot more
easier to
time as
learn,
a child,
but
so.
APM is also I mean, that's the hardest game to play is an RTS. So
Besides golf, throwback to episode 1.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. RTS is. I can't think of a harder game to master than an RTS.
So you think Age 2 is harder than League of Legends?
Considerably.
Really?
Considerably.
Interesting.
Bro, it's not even in the same universe. You hit the macro.
They actually are in the same universe.
Isn't
just-
one of
Well,
them
they are because MOBAs are a derivative of RTSs.
Right. I thought one of them was Runeterra.
League of Legends of Runeterra, that's a card game.
No, isn't Runeterra the universe?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, is Age of Empires in Runeterra?
No. No, you have to individually micro up to 200 units in Age of Empires. You have to manage one unit in League of Legends.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
But the interaction.
anything that you have to move cameras around with, it's instantly harder than anything else.
Yeah.
That right there, that barrier to entry right there is absolutely crazy, right?
That's true.
But
Camera.
at least in League of
management.
Legends, right, you only have one hotkeyed unit. It's you, the
Yeah,
character.
right.
Yeah, I can have up to like in an actual real life
Unless
game.
you play Dota, and then sometimes you have more.
Yeah, but like it's like having up to 8 armies to hotkey and individual micro of your first like 30 characters, like your first 30 villagers.
I guess I'm just coming in with like.
I mean,
only
at a professional sense
casual-
too. Yeah, when I say
only a casual experience,
yeah,
right?
yeah. When I say
feel
I'm
like
always
MOBAs
when
are
I'm talking esports, I'm almost always talking at the highest level of play. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't. Yeah,
Where they only used ghosts.
it's just ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah, I just don't see Riot making League of Legends 2. I think Valorant is
They'll
gonna
make
be,
League of Legends
You also
2
have to think-
in the MMO.
you
So-
have to think you also,
You'll go
Actually,
into a
actually,
mobile for a
that
Yeah,
to
there'll
me-
be a
mode.
waypoint.
hey, that is actually not that crazy to me. Think about how
Honestly, that
TFT
would
exists
actually be
inside of League of
super
Legends.
That's true.
cool.
That's
That would
true.
be super
I could
cool.
totally see you bringing your character
into the arena,
into the
for
arena.
glory.
Yeah, and so it'll almost be like Smite. They'll run Smite inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
I
god,
could see
that
something
makes me
like
so
that.
much more excited for the MMO.
I could
now.
see something like that. I mean, that just makes sense, right? I mean,
Yeah.
You mentioned TFT. Do we have a really quick section on that? I mean,
oh yeah, we
let's
should
say,
totally talk about TFT.
Yumi, thank God she's dead. I mean, like they.
Well,
they
hang on.
nerfed
Before
her.
we get there, I do want to
Oh,
wrap up.
okay.
I want to wrap
Okay,
up.
yeah,
I want to wrap up.
Yeah. I'm gonna sit
this
here
whole
on
Riot
Yumi's dead
situation.
body. Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, Riot releases the best gaming cinematics besides the Diablo cinematics. I think only the and even then I think
Well, I don't know.
even
Final Fantasies are really up there too.
I don't think so.
I think so.
It can be debated.
Yeah.
I would give the Diablo cinematics the absolute crown. They actually send shivers down my spine. They are so incredible.
Have you played Final Fantasy games though?
Nope.
Because
Nope. I've seen a lot of their cinematics.
There's some cutscenes in there. I guess like
Yeah.
because you're tied to the characters.
Yeah.
too.
See, I'm not tied to Diablo whatsoever, but holy crap.
Yeah. Oh,
The
yeah.
Diablo 4 cinematics, and one just released like last month, they are just like otherworldly insane. They are so good.
are.
But anyways, Riot cinematics are masterpieces, and normally the songs that go with them are also incredible.
Right. They put a lot of effort in.
Yeah,
the
their
audio,
music
right?
department is S+. Like no one makes music like Riot does.
I mean, they have
this
a
year
pop
they
band.
released something from 2008 that was made on Vista. I mean, it was so bad, so terrible. They released a PR statement within like 4 hours. Right? It was just terrible. And Riot has moved the LCS to 12 p.m. on Wednesdays and Thursdays when everyone's at work.
prime viewing time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because Valorant has all the
And
slots now.
Valorant it now has the weekend slots.
Yes.
And we didn't get a cinematic. And Riot is saying, a lot of things have happened and we have big things coming, but they won't tell us what the big things are. And at this point, they've gotten to the point now where it's like, unless you announce League of Legends 2
Right.
or a brand new reskin of the game or some new game mode that is like Earth levels of game mode that is just like, holy crap.
3v3 would be pretty cool.
Oh, the mode that they took away?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Really? That used to be a thing.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Twisted Tree Line, dude.
Wow.
Yep.
It was its own map too.
It was incredible.
God damn. Weird.
Yep. It was insane. I'm one of the few people that has like one of the max hour emblems in that mode because that was my main mode.
Oh, and you can't access that either.
Gone
Pour one out for
forever.
you.
Well, maybe that's the announcement.
No,
We're bringing back killer trees.
no. Twisted Tree Line was incredible. I mean, because you could play with three people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and it was a
sounds
very
fun.
small
I
map.
would play 3v3.
Yeah, it was fun as all get out. There were different items in that map, which
Oh,
were
cool.
unique to just that map.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
The champions were exactly the same, but some of the items were like unique to the map.
Right.
Yeah, and it had a very dark. It was the whole map was like spooky woods. It was based off the Shadow Isles, and there was a massive spider, way bigger than Baron, like 3 times the size of Baron. Yep. She would knock you up and pull you into the center, and she would try to eat you.
And both teams would try to fight the
Yeah,
kill.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then so you had to like
Yeah, you had to like
calculate the
fight
final hit.
Yeah, it was also like a 20-minute mode. So it yeah, and the meta was like super fun. Like the way you played that map was totally different. Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, that's just what they need.
I'm actually like slightly tearing up thinking about that map. Met my good buddy Superhero and Caltip. They taught me how to play League of Legends.
And you guys met
Yeah.
in the 3v3?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. They taught me how to. Yeah, it's fine. It's
I'm
fine.
just thinking, like
Yeah.
5 years ago, I
It
met
was
a
also
guy
some of the worst
playing
times too, because those
Okay.
guys were super, super toxic.
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah, they were the guys like if you aren't they come from high level rating in MMOs like in WoW.
Yeah.
So they're like, dude, if you're not doing your job, why are you even playing the video game? Get out of here. Like don't talk to us. Do your job. No excuses. Do your job.
Sure.
Yeah. Which looking back at it now, it makes total sense. But like 22-year-old me struggled a lot with that. Yeah. Because these guys are much older than me. They're like both.
It's
like 10
funny
years older
because
than me.
now, like, we're in that role for
Yeah.
the guys coming in.
Yeah. But anyways, wait, no, I was even younger than that. No, I would have been like 18 or 19. Now that I think about it, because I wasn't even married when I was. Anyways, but yeah, so Riot right now is just in a bit of a pickle. Like
With the League community,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Valorant community's loving
that.
Riot.
That's
Yeah,
the
that's-
that- that's- yeah. That, and that's the thing.
Championship tour, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm missing.
Anybody can make it.
I'm missing live content at Prime View. Oh yeah, sorry. Your game's at noon. Like ours is at 5
Yep.
p.m. There was a time when you mentioned that you were surprised that like there was a League thing and a Valorant thing going on at the same time, and just now you're talking about it. It's like, wow, yeah, they don't want them at the same time, and I guess they gave Valorant the better spots.
Right. I mean, it's the developing game, though. You're right. The League's
Makes sense.
15 years
I'm
old.
saying it
They're
makes
having
business sense, and that's why it's
issues
happening.
making money with
That's
it.
why it's happening. Because now, one thing that I think would be huge, but they're never going to go for it, is they need a paid server. I mean, they
see
just
that.
need
A
a paid
premium
server.
pass.
I don't have content I want to buy anymore. I am one of the whales. I spent around $1,500 in 10 years on this free to play game.
Yep.
I've bought all the content I want to buy. There's nothing else that's interesting to me. I want a paid server where other people who are playing on paid server that are committed to the ranked experience like I am, that's what I want. Give that to me.
Yeah.
I'll pay $20 a month for that.
Sure.
You know,
I'd-
if it's like a heavily like refereed space, you know, because the number one thing that sucks with playing any ranked ladder game is griefing and people that aren't there to play, you know. I mean, CS:GO, they have paid third-party servers that you can play on, and they take that stuff very seriously, right?
Yeah.
They have, I think they have ESL is an actual server,
ESL,
right?
yep.
Then there's 2 other ones too, and I don't know what their prices are, but like they're popular, you know, because they take it very seriously.
Well, people that pay for that are people that want
They want that.
to be a pro,
Right.
right?
Yep.
That's what they're
Yeah.
Or
joining. that.
really want to grief.
Yeah.
Or sure.
So, but anyways, yeah. Riot's whole thing right now is just kind of wild. Like as a company, I love their polish. I love their competitive. I like what Riot tries to do with their competitive scene. I think they're very good at it. I think everyone's trying to copy them.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, they've
but
made
yeah,
a whole business around esports.
It just does suck that the thing that got them big doesn't make sense for them to do anymore. And I want to say part of it is their decision on that. Like there's got to be 20,000 players, at least 20,000 players that would do a $20 subscription. You know how much money a guaranteed subscription is worth to a company? I mean, I bet you there's probably like 60,000 players that would pay $20 a month to be on a ranked super server, you know. And Riot, I don't think Riot would ever do that.
Yeah.
Well, because they got people who pay $20 a skin, like a skin.
Well, that's the
set on
thing. That's the
skin
thing.
in
You can
Valorant,
still
yeah.
buy skins on the super server, right? All it is just like a dedicated ranked server. And I mean, I just think, I think there's a lot of
You've
people that
seen
would
the
do
gun animations in Valorant.
Or, I
right?
mean,
With
what
the
they
skin.
could-
it. Yeah, they're clean.
Are those like higher tier than like a League of Legends skin?
No, the League of Legends skins take probably considerable more development.
Well,
than-
yeah, but like you.
That's another thing. I see these Valorant skins that you guys are paying for. There is zero chance ever in that the League community would be okay with anything like that.
Okay.
That's
because
another
we don't
thing,
have
too.
character skins.
What?
I want
Oh, it
character
doesn't
skins
even
so
matter.
bad.
It doesn't matter. These gun skins are literally paint jobs compared to some of these League of Legends skins.
Oh, of course.
Well, yeah, but
they're a joke.
But the thing
Well,
is
they
that's
take
all
up
we see when we're
Yeah,
playing.
yeah,
Valorant.
and I
exactly.
get that,
Yeah.
but it doesn't
It takes
matter.
up-
The price that I've seen some of these.
And there's something that's different with the gun skin though that you don't experience with League, and that is when you have the ability to give your skin
Yeah,
to somebody.
yeah,
in the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
yeah,
that is
yeah,
why you
yeah.
buy skins.
That's huge.
That's why I buy skins.
yeah.
Because when somebody asks for my skin or wants a skin, and I'm like,
Or
oh yeah,
talks
here
about
you
your
go.
Riot gun buddy.
Or the buddy system is completely different.
Well,
But
yeah, but so, like
I get so much joy when somebody's like, "Oh, this is so cool." You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
When you hand it
Yeah,
to somebody,
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
And I
Like,
get
that
that.
experience
And I
is
get that.
worth the cash for me.
See, that's the thing. Like when we get new League of Legends skins, like the higher tier ones, they come with whole new voice lines, brand
Yeah,
new, like,
right,
fully recorded for that skin. Like
Yeah, we have kill
that takes
sounds.
a lot. That takes a lot of effort.
We have
and
kill
energy.
animations.
Yeah. Yeah, when
So-
when I
I
phantom,
desecrate your body in fancy ways.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. Like there's so many different ways that Riot can monetize. They also said they lost a lot. Like in a Reddit post today, one of the writers said they lost a lot of people during COVID. There's a lot of flight.
You're talking about Riot employees?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, like in developers and stuff.
I could see that.
Yep. And I mean we
Well,
don't get enough
there
traction.
are
We don't get enough
game
traction.
developer unions forming now too. A lot more.
They needed to have that a while
Yep.
ago, and especially
that's
with
gonna be a big thing coming up.
editing people too. But and I won't name their name, but there is a rioter that has visited us before. They were very, very kind to us and gave me some background information. This person worked. I'm not going to get too specific. This person worked in the.
for a large video game company.
They worked in the client area of the game. Hopefully, that's not too specific.
They were in
but
sales.
but yeah, they told me that you know, a lot, and this was like 3 years ago, before Project L was announced, before the MMO was announced, and it all makes sense now.
Yep.
But you know, they were like, yeah, I'd say more than half of my team was pulled to these other things. And I don't know if you know, but the League of Legends client just sucks. Like everyone always says, it sucks.
Oh,
It's been
yeah.
a huge problem for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, oh, okay, well that makes sense.
Well, there's no reason why client should like go away, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah, well
it's
they're
the
pulled.
game
They're
engine.
pulled on.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
pulled on a. They're pulled on a new client. You know, it's like just things like that. You know, and yeah, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating.
It is
But
totally
it is what it is.
understandable.
They gave us a lot of RP though. They sent us like $100 RP gift cards.
Oh, really
Cool.
sweet.
yeah.
Really sweet.
Like, here's some for you, and how many of your friends do you want?
Sure.
I was like, I wasn't too greedy, but I was like, yeah, I got like 6 people.
much
I'd
you
wanna give
got?
this. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Nice. Riot employees are
Yeah, they're great.
awesome. I've had a conversation with one so far that I know of, and yeah, she was pretty awesome. So I mean, they're treated well, I would assume, because they don't talk bad about.
Yeah, I mean, every company, every large. I mean, you got to think there's thousands of Riot employees at this point. so
Activision
that's-
Blizzard would never treat their employees badly.
I mean, Riot went through very similar issues.
Did
so,
they?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, anyways, all that being said, Riot's in a hot spot right now. The new
Yeah.
season just launched today, so start your rank grind.
Oh yeah, the TFT patch is the
It coincides. Yeah,
league
they're on the
patch.
same.
Yeah,
they're on
yeah.
the same
On
client. So.
Valorant's new act just started this week too.
Yep.
so-
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Exciting
yeah,
times.
today is Riot's. Yeah, we didn't even know when the season was going to start until like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago or something like that. Like that is like Riot's communication this season has been terrible.
Something's happening.
Yeah. We'll see. They say they have really big things to show us soon. So
Maybe your
if
characters
it's
are
like
getting
a,
gun skins.
and that's the thing too. If it's a teaser,
When do they usually release like their big game announcement stuff?
I don't know. It's kind of just all over the place. But
okay.
like, if their big thing is we're gonna show you the MMO announcement, yeah, League's dead.
Yeah.
If that's their big thing,
Right.
that League players, frankly, like, well, I want to play League of Legends.
Yeah.
I don't want to play a MOBA.
Could you imagine if they announced the MMO and then like open beta or closed betas are like 2 months later? I'd freak out. Oh my god, I'd love
The
it.
MMO would be the best MMO of all time because Ghostcrawler's the lead dev. He literally said we have no budget.
Right.
Dang.
As
I
in,
know.
we have
I watched
unlimited
that.
budget.
I watched that interview.
Yeah, you did?
Wow.
I did.
Yeah. He's like, we're not going to run out of money. He said, I'll be frank, we're not going to run out of money.
Right.
The only reason this thing isn't going to launch is if it's bad.
Right.
And I don't think Ghostcrawler's going to release a bad product.
Oh, of course not.
So,
yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. Like that, when you hear something like that, though, like why is the same not being said for League of Legends, which has the biggest, largest infrastructure for esports?
Yeah.
Why is it that we're getting rid of Dash, who has been the face for like 10 years, the primary caster, analyst, like face of the LCS? They're like, oh, we're just going to go in a different direction. We don't need to be like the NFL anymore. We're going to be more like laid back and more podcasty, you know?
Yeah.
No one wants that.
Yeah.
Everyone just wants Dash there. We need the consistency of
Also,
having.
Valorant isn't podcasty like with their casters. It's not like they're going a different direction in other
Yeah,
places where they want.
I think they will eventually.
Okay, well, when
Like
it's
maybe
dying, or
no, they just when contracts change. So,
Maybe we'll see.
anyways, yeah. So that wraps up the League of Legends segment.
To
for
be
this
fair,
podcast.
though,
to be
like-
fair,
Valorant, a lot of players that are getting into Valorant are players that are coming from CS:GO, coming from Overwatch, coming from Call of Duty. The only people that went into League were generally RTS players that started it, so they were coming from Dota. Some came from WoW.
well, a lot of people got into League because there was also what else was there to get in the early like 2010s.
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
There you
Right.
go. And WoW, I think that was actually when WoW was going through its major depression zone, right?
Yeah.
Also, it was this new thing to grind, right? It had a pretty diverse ranked ladder, free to play. WoW was not free to play,
WoW
even
was
when it was
not.
bad,
Yeah.
right?
Wait, did Ghostcrawler mention anything about the price structure? Is it going to be a subscription?
Oh
for
no,
the
it's not going to
MMO?
be subscription based.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Crazy.
No subscription.
I know Bandai's new MMO, Blue
Protocol.
Protocol,
Yeah.
baby, is going to be free to play as well.
Oh, I haven't heard of this. I mean, you cannot do any sort of online game anymore and charge for it.
You can't. No.
Only COD has the privilege of doing that. Like straight up.
That's
and
only
even
for
they
their
have
multiplayer,
Warzone.
though.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah, and
Warzone,
exactly.
yeah.
And even that is free to play now. Yeah, because like people don't want that. They don't want to pay for a game, and they
No.
just won't. They're
Well,
just going to go
but
play
that's
something
because
else that's free.
You can charge them for assets in the game,
Right.
and that's
It's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's so much simpler because now they can pay you and they have money.
yeah.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
like how many of our customers don't want to, like we used to have a membership program here, and we try to convince them, yo, just sign up for the membership. Like you could save so much money, and they're like, dude, we don't want to do that. I'd just rather just pay you with the
You know
cash
what
I
we
have.
should do?
Shout out to Potato
When,
Lane.
when,
Thank you, Potato Aim, for keeping the lights
when they
on.
come here, we should just sell them cosmetic assets when they come into Edge.
And speaking of that,
Oh.
we just bought a lot of jerseys, and we have them, and they're here. If you want a jersey, come to the arcade or reach out to us on social media, and we can ship you a jersey.
Mine's in the wash because I wore it like 3
They are awesome.
days in a
They
row.
are awesome.
And otherwise, I would.
They're
have
not
I think I wore it the
Snapbacks.
first episode.
They're not snapbacks.
yeah.
Snapback hats.
Oh yeah,
which
those are
I've been
coming.
asking for
Forrest
3
has
years.
been asking for them for many, many years. They will come.
I'm just gonna make them myself. Screw it.
We should give everybody who walks in here a free edge keychain and then give them
Oh,
microtransaction
hey, I
upgrade
actually
options.
like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, like
Keychains are sweet.
like here's a Valorant doingle that you can put on it.
Oh,
It's only
dude,
$1.
yeah. We'll call the Edge Buddies.
Yeah, yeah. Edgelords.
All right, so let's move on to TFT and then wrap up with our last topic.
Yeah, that sounds good. That
All
sounds
right,
good.
all
Yumi's dead. Yes.
Yes!
Robin Songs is big in the scene. Robin Songs posted a tweet. He was missing her. Like, oh, we had such good times together. Like, we'll never forget. For those who don't know, play Teamfight Tactics. What are you doing? For those who
Teamfight Tactics is really good because it requires no mechanical skill. So if your excuse is, I'm bad at video games, I hear that a lot. You have to say you're bad at checkers.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone listening to this though is bad at games. So let's just be honest. All you guys are good at video games. All you guys are good at video
At
games.
least one person at this desk is
play.
bad at most of the games he
Yeah,
plays.
David's
I
not
can
good
be
at video
good.
games.
I can be good at TFT.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you're good at TFT. That's probably the highest rank in any game you're in.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
That's why I keep playing it. Really, like, do I enjoy TFT as much as Overwatch when I'm doing well in it? Probably not. But like, the feeling of being the highest edge
Yep.
employee,
You're higher than me.
yeah, like
right now.
that goes straight to my head, and it doesn't
Flex
leave.
on him,
It's
David.
just
Flex
in there.
on him.
And so, yeah, Yumi's nerfed. Supers are nerfed. Like supers
Thank
are the
Did you read the
God.
patch note? What it said?
oh, the super
said-
pooper joke?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, we're going to make them something that rhymes with super duper. It's pooper.
It's pooper.
The joke is super poopers. It was cute.
That's one thing I did remember of the patch was
yeah.
reading that. That was funny.
But like, the super nerf's pretty big. Like supers, you get 5%. You used to get 5% bonus damage for every 3-star unit. So like, if you were running a reroll comp, put supers in there.
Yeah, of course.
And like,
It
there were
was-
enough traits on the different supers characters to like.
The real thing is that 3-star units were just too strong, and they nerfed them across the board
Yep,
almost
across
entirely.
the board. Yeah, and the supers bonus is now just 3% rather than 5.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
and you know
big.
why? Because rolling to get your comp has so much luck involved, and
Well,
it just doesn't feel great.
it's probability because you can predict the outcome pretty easy. I wouldn't say it's luck. It's luck if you're not paying attention to other people's boards.
It's
You're all drafting out of the same pool.
I
yeah.
understand.
There are controls on the luck, but there is
Yeah.
still
Of course.
It's like playing poker.
Yeah, it's probability.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could hit 2% 2 Samiras on your first roll, and you're like,
yeah. The last 2 games I played,
just
I
won the
actually hit
game.
Samira at level 5 within like it
yeah,
was the
yeah,
first
yeah,
couple
yeah,
ro-
yeah.
Second one I aced. But poor me. So supers reduced mascots were a huge part of like these reroll comps because tons of the mascots they're like the healing your people, passive healing on your board. A lot of them were 1-star, 2-star. So it was just really easy to reroll into mascot supers and then have a Yumi in your backline who was a mascot and would just like snipe the person. Yumi's ability sniped the unit farthest from her. So she was made to kill enemy carries.
Well, the problem is there's no assassins.
yeah.
And
there's
so
no
you
assassins.
could not get past that front line until the very, very end of the game. The problem is that player, the super mascot player, was at like 80 plus health,
Yeah.
and you might hit the board.
Yeah.
You might hit your in-game board with like under 20.
Yeah.
So you had to like perfect fight them 5 or 6 times, and this 2-cost
Yeah.
unit was doing
Yeah.
unlimited amounts
Like,
of damage.
For the past couple of sets, I had just like moved away from rerolls. Like there was one set like I got in on set 4 when there was the chosen mechanic, and so I learned on rerolls.
Yeah.
And then I like really got hard stuck, and it wasn't until somebody who had played things before rerolls had told me like, you know, there's another way to play this game.
Yeah,
Like,
fast eight.
did you know that? Yeah, fast 8. And so I was fast 8ing for like multiple sets in a row,
Yep.
and then I was getting hard stuck in this set. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
because now you can't fast 8 again. It's
Yeah,
a reroll meta.
and that's what I was that like
Yep.
I was instinctively fast 8ing, and then it was a couple of Reddit posts. They're like, why fast 8 is dead.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Dead and bad. And then it's like, oh wait, I reroll at level like 6 or 7 to stabilize. I just kept ending because they upped how much damage you take at each like what is it, dual round. And so I was just losing tons of health, and I'm like, oh, here I am just loss streaking. Look at all the money I have, and I'm dying with like 70 gold, and there's no shimmer scale, so that's not a cool thing.
Oofta.
Yeah. But they also buffed my Anima Squad heroes, and they
Anima Squad was a
Finally.
joke.
Anima
I know.
Squad.
And I wanted to make it work so hard.
3 was useless. Literally, you didn't play 3 ever. You would never even splash it in. It made
I would
no
like
sense.
sell if I was going with like 5 Anima Squad, and then I did well
Yeah.
enough that I could like
Yeah,
sell a
what is
couple
it?
units.
You
Then I
could
had
do
the
Star
health bonus.
Guardian and pivot into Anima Squad
Kind
if
of,
you
but
wanted
like
to.
I just
Yeah.
3 was a joke. Oh, 10%.
Yeah.
Because the health that you get from killing enemy units never scales with how many Anima Squad you have, which is a total missed opportunity.
And it's per kill
Yeah.
with an Anima Squad member. So, like, if you
Right.
have a bunch of Anima Squad and your carry or, like, your
Right.
item holder isn't an Anima Squad
Yeah,
member.
it didn't make any
like,
sense.
this was the 8th I went with Samira. Like, I was having her hold my misfortune items just because, like, she was the best unit I had that wasn't. And, yeah, she would kill 6 enemy units. And I would still be at 0 Anima Squad bonus because she killed all the units.
Yep. And that's the thing. The Anima Squad spat, like, the 5
Rod
or
spat.
7,
Yeah.
was probably the best spat in the game if you had that, because it's 60% damage
Yeah.
on both stats, on AD and AP. Like, nothing else is going to
But you'd have to
Not even an
survive long enough to get there.
Exactly.
Yeah, or get it on an augment.
Exactly.
But yeah. So
I think did they triple the health that you get from Anima Squad or something?
well, they
They need to. Like,
think-
that was a joke. I'd be like, all game with Anima Squad, 150 health.
yeah
For those of you listening, that's maybe like 5% extra health.
It's tiny. Yeah.
It
It's
is.
nothing.
I can't remember what they did with the health. I almost feel like they reduced it, but they increased the value of
So they
the
did
Anima
buff.
Squad
They
units.
did
Like,
get buffed.
See,
it did get buffed.
I just feel like, yeah.
here. I'll
I
have
feel
to-
like Anima Squad, I wanted the health stacking thing to be more of the deal as opposed to the raw damage stats that you got. They should swap those around. Instead of 5 health per kill, it should be like 20 health per kill.
that. Well, so like the problem
But, like,
there
the
was
stats
like
should be, like,
people were running
10%.
Nasus with the mascots, and so like if you had an incredibly fat Nasus in addition to everything,
I'm fine with something being Matt. We have tools. We have Giant Slayer. We have
well, they nerfed
know.
Giant Slayer in this patch.
I know. Which they didn't have to do. They did that because it was being used so much because of the super mascots, and that is like causation.
So they made supers like just absolutely
only one person.
impossible.
If someone runs supers, only one person would be doing it. I bet you they killed that trait for the rest of the set.
That's
Dude,
fine.
we just played the same
That's
patch for a
fine.
month. That never happens with Riot.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Awful.
yeah,
I'm
that's
okay
the
with that.
holiday season.
I mean, I don't know. Any of the traits that only have like 3 characters, even less than 5 characters, it's just like, why?
Well, they're splash traits. That's meant to be splashed.
I know.
But you know what's crazy is like Laser Core and Ox Force. I don't know how they're going to do this patch. They're like vertical traits that you play. No one ever played those to vertical. You only splashed them.
Yeah.
But like I remember playing Laser 9 and I could never top 2 with it.
Yeah.
Weird.
And it's like, dude, this is a 9 trait
Right.
that you have to hit a spat to hit. And it's like, why am I barely getting top 4s with this?
So
Mordekaiser's garbage.
yeah,
You're
now
just
they
bad at
buffed him.
items.
They buffed
I
him.
know. They
Yeah.
big buffed them now.
They fat buffed him.
Yeah.
I will say that even when Anima Squad was trash, my like according to LOLchess or one of those tracker maybe, Misfortune was my top carry.
Yeah, that's a 3-cost unit. I still
Okay, well they
believe that to my
adjusted
core.
her, and that thing you hated, how she
AI?
was like an incredibly slow sprinkler. Yeah, she goes faster.
Okay, so now she's a 4-cost unit.
Yeah, she's
There you
dope.
go.
She's
The AI.
So she's better. Huh?
word dope.
yeah. And that's the problem is like Misfortune could whiff. Samira's ult can fizz.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's why I don't like to play. I mean, Samira's fun when she pops off.
Yeah.
But the fact that a 4-cost unit can just, the unit died as they were doing their ult. Oh, okay. You just don't get it anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas other 2-cost units will just work. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Who's
the
balancing the
balance-
game?
Also,
I love you, Mort, but gosh.
Yeah. Also, Aphelios, you just always pick Binding Eclipse, the stun one.
Actually, no. I think the Onslaught where he spreads the whole cast.
Okay, well,
I really like that
you
one.
could have been Diamond.
Yep.
I
really like
the
that
move
one.
was always Binding Eclipse. Now they have adjusted him, and
You
the other ones are actually viable.
You throw the Armor Shred item on. I forget the name
Last
of it.
Whisper.
Last Whisper? Yeah. Last Whisper's the whole team. It's awesome.
Wait, you put it on everybody?
What if you last
well,
whispered and stunned their
if you
carry?
if you pick Aphelios and you do the ability to the left, you know he has the 3 abilities. Have you ever played Aphelios?
I
You
don't
haven't.
think so.
Yeah,
no.
He's a 5-cost Oxford.
Oh.
And he
His
has
special
you can
trait,
pick- you can
yeah.
pick what his ability is every round.
Yeah, so that's like the Arsenal trait. If you see
Fun.
Arsenal, it's because you picked
Yeah.
Aphelios and you get one of 3 weapons. 2 of them were baits, and one of
Yeah.
them was the one Vindy didn't pick.
Yeah.
Which was good.
One
it
of
was
them
Binding
stuns.
Eclipse.
It's off the abilities he has in the game. And
In League, you're
in
saying?
League, yeah.
Yeah.
One of them will stun a big group and does damage. One of them does a lot of damage to only 2 units, kind of slowly, but it does like a lot of damage. But the other one was like he marks all these targets and then fires a round, and it hit. It's like homing missiles.
Nice.
But you could armor shred each of them with Last Whisper, and so you would run Samira with him.
Because they're both sure shots.
They're
and so
both
they
sure
do more
shots.
AD that way.
And so he would armor shred all the targets, and then when Samira ulted, she would be ulting armor shredded targets, and then you could just stack tons of damage on her without. Yeah. It was pretty nasty.
I mean, it'll be better now because it's
Because there's no mascots.
there's no mascots, but they also made that ability on him better. So TFT, good patch. I'm happy with the patch so far, and I already took a first with Misfortune. So I think for the next week, I'm going to do no brain, Anima Squad reroll, no pivot.
There you go.
Yeah.
No pivot.
I'm excited.
Call it in the
I
chat.
haven't played any of this patch, so tomorrow I'm going to be playing a lot.
It's bunny girls all day.
All right, hit me up. What's our last topic here?
Do you want to pick this first one, or do you want to pick this second one? This second one we can do anytime.
Oh my gosh, second one is so good.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, because I've talked about this with a lot of sports enthusiasts.
Let's kick this one to later. Like in the
I like it. I like
episode.
it. I like
Okay,
it.
cool.
Yeah. I'm talking about this part.
Yeah.
Okay. That is super good.
Here, let me just fold
And this will
right
resonate
quick.
with a lot of people who are not as into the esports scene as we are.
Yeah.
Who
You
won't watch our podcast?
No. Well, no. Some of our
Who will
people, some of the
start to
people have
watch it.
messaged me and they're like, like they're just here for my personality or your personality or whatever.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? And they
Let's
might
be real.
they-
They're here for Forest. They're all here for
They
Forest.
know. Well, they just know traditional sports at a higher level,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
obviously it's so much more established.
Yeah, man.
All right. So the topic is traditional sports are rarely patched.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
rarely get changes.
So this is what I'm calling our essence of esports topic. So last time we had an essence of esports topic where we were talking about the difference
ease of
between
entry?
like video games versus esports. Like what is it that makes an esport and not just a video game?
Right.
Or what are the things that can make a video game into an esport or separate different esports into their more esportsiness?
Watch episode 1.
It was a good episode. I
was.
liked it.
was.
I think you looked pretty attractive in it. But then again, don't you always? I shouldn't have. But I should. In the meantime, our esports topic today involves the notion of patching. So a patch is pretty important to what an esport is. It's in our name, patch notes. I don't know of a live service game that doesn't patch. They all do. Like a patch is important because it can adjust a whole lot of things. One,
Technically, they all do, but some virtually do not. Smash being one of them.
okay, yeah.
Tetris too.
Yeah, dang, that's why it's a dead game. You gotta patch Tetris. I mean, like the weird what is it? Like the S thing that needs to be patched. Out. I don't like that piece.
Yeah,
it's
it
stupid.
doesn't fall fast
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. They need to introduce new pieces that would keep Tetris alive.
I think Smash is probably the best example though
It is.
of
Yeah,
a patchless game.
But
because
it
they
does
release,
get patches.
Well,
right.
but now
It
they
did,
have an
anyway.
end date, right?
Yes,
They have an
yes.
end date. Like
Once
even Age of Empires,
Sakurai
20 years
is
later,
done,
is getting patches.
there's no longer getting patched.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's because though of how much that game is tied to just Sakurai's creative design.
Sure,
But
sure.
Well, so
whatever.
this
That's a
is kind of
conversation
something
for
I want
another
to
day.
flesh out because like I thought it was. Well, I was just having thoughts here, but I'm not even sure that. Like, well, of course I don't know like the extent of it, but so some of the differences of like why you would patch a video game versus like a traditional sport. Well, so there are bug fixes that you have to address in a video game.
games, yeah.
There aren't really bugs in traditional sports, or if they are bugs,
But they're
like
archaic
balance issues.
There are archaic rules that don't make
Right.
sense in 2022.
Right.
That- yeah,
because
that's
the
right.
advances in technology.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think football has quite a few of those.
Yes.
and they're like just figuring it out, and so like they're trying to update. But like they're not used to it. So I looked up like what's a recent patch in traditional sports, and I found like the NFL rules of 2022. There's an overtime rule where now both teams will get possession. I say now, like as of 2022, both teams, if they go into overtime, have to get possession of the ball. It used to be that like you could just get the ball, kick a field goal, and boom skis, like you won the game because you scored first.
You had to get a touchdown.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did they patch that at one point, or was
Yeah,
it just
actually.
okay?
Right.
Yeah. So overtime happens to be a thing that like you need patches
you
too
need
sometimes.
updates, yeah.
Now I guess you can get a touchdown, and then the other team has an opportunity to get a touchdown too, and then keep it going. That's the thing. I should not be the one talking about meat sports.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. And then there's another thing about free kicks, which, like, to make it fit on my desk nicely.
Just the way the
cut off.
formation is. Like, you can have the rule change from last year is now permanent. During a free kick, all receiving team players must be inbounds and behind the restraining line, and at least 8 but no more than 9 players must be positioned between the restraining line and a spot 15 yards behind their setup zone.
So-
wow, that's actually pretty legal babble for
Yeah, yeah, it
the
is.
NFL.
It is. But so, like, I wanna interrogate, like, what these patches are like and mean, and the why, versus like why patches in esports happen. Like, I'll think of neither of these strike me as a patch because they want to keep exciting gameplay going. I mean, well, so
It is though.
I think
I misspoke. What I'm thinking there is like, so
it's not new content though.
so in my
It
like,
doesn't open a line for a new content.
well, so when I have like the most needed patch in my last 5 years was like when GOATs was a thing in Overwatch. When everyone so Overwatch is supposed to be a first-person shooter, right? Lots of people like the damage character. In GOATs, this was when it was 6v6. There were 3 tank characters, and there were 3 support heroes. And if you picked a shooty character, you were throwing. You weren't playing GOATs. The way to play the game was to have Reinhardt, Zarya, Diva, Ana, Brigitte, and Zenyatta. Or was Lucio in there?
Small variations. But
Yeah,
basically, it wasn't even a shooter anymore.
It wasn't a shooter.
It was a shielder.
It was. It was.
It was a shielder.
It was a shooting shield simulator. And like there are people who love GOATs, and there were times when I would convince myself, like I would Stockholm syndrome that thing. I'm like, wow, the ult management you have to get into, and the ways in which your diva has to be thinking about eating both the graviton and the Ana anti-nade. But if she misses either of those, and then like the Zen has to trance at the right time. It was Stockholm syndrome. Like I was trying to find good things in.
So, and I guess like, sorry to cut you off, but I'm just trying to. I was trying to think of this. So you're asking like, why does baseball not have extra bases, or like why is there not a 4-point line in basketball? Are you asking why don't they do more changes like that?
I don't want to say why don't they ever, because like here there are NFL changes.
That
but like,
to me
seems really
that's
minor.
more like, to me that's like a bug fix. Like you see something like that, you know?
That's a patch.
Yeah.
But it's a patch to make it more entertaining and more fair.
Well, and that's the thing. It's entertainment of the fans is, and it should be the developers' thing, right? Because like for a spectator sport of traditional or esports, that's all that matters, right? And that's the reason why, like in League of Legends, gameplay is starting to suffer because we're getting like more dashes. Characters are just flying everywhere because it looks cool,
right.
you know. But gameplay suffers from that, and so you have to rein that in a lot. And it's a tricky thing to do. But like I've always thought, like if you look at the NBA where people are shooting from now, they're always just taking 3-point shots because it's statistically the best time investment to do.
Right.
At this point, we need to do 2 things. We probably
you do
need to
a
bring.
highly skilled player.
They're
to
all
be able
highly
to do
skilled.
it, but
now
that's the
all you
thing.
have is 3 shooters, right?
Right.
So like big men don't rule the NBA anymore.
No.
It's just not. It's the Currys. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like, all right, what do? Do you make a 4-point shot?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
do you
That
make
would be pretty exciting.
do you make a 4-point shot?
Do you add elevation because the engine can handle it?
That was another thing. That's another thing too. Is we have absolutely massive people playing the game.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, dude, do we just bring the hoop up 2 feet? But that changes everything.
That does.
And you can't like, oh, we're bringing up 1 inch per year.
Sure.
You know, you're not going to do that.
No.
And like, why is that? Because like, if it were a video game that weren't like NBA 2K or whatever.
Yeah, we've had disruptions that large in League of Legends.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We've had the equivalent of like the hoop being raised 2 feet.
Yeah,
It's because of the legacy of those sports, though,
exactly.
right?
The tradition is
Yes.
so ingrained
Right.
Yes.
that, you know, and that's another thing too. A video game, there's nothing physical about that.
Right.
You'd have to go around to every single park in America
This is also very true.
and change the size. Of
Right.
Yeah.
Right, you can't do that. You can't do
Yes.
that.
So, like, facilities
Yeah.
Correct.
would have to be updated everywhere
Yep.
to
And so-
match because you can't
exactly.
practice for the
Can't
national
practice.
level
Exactly.
if you don't have a facility.
Now, I
that's
would
the same.
argue that a 4-point, like adding something that's like a 4-point,
4-point line is possible,
super
right?
more.
Yeah.
because like
You can go out there and write
college
another
courts are
line on the
smaller,
court.
right? Aren't college courts smaller? Or
I'm not 100%.
High school courts are smaller, but I know
Yeah,
there is a
maybe.
difference.
I don't know.
I know there's a difference in official sizes of basketball courts depending on what you're playing in.
Okay.
I know for a fact.
Maybe.
I just don't know where
I
they.
know football fields are always the same size. They're always 100 yards.
Yeah, that I know. I just know that there is a difference between court sizes on the official scales of things. I know that for sure.
So that's fair.
I'm thinking
I mean,
about-
the basketball is different from college. Like the ball size is actually different from college to NBA.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Yep. And women's basketball is actually
I know
smaller than
women's
that. But yeah.
basketball is different.
And
You're saying
see-
a college ball
Yep.
and an NBA ball are different regulational sizes?
Yep.
Dude, I am blown away by that. I never knew that.
Yep.
That is wild. Wait, what am I buying when I go to Walmart or whatever, you know?
You can buy both sizes.
Well, you're not buying basketball.
I don't think I've ever noticed then. I bet. Wow.
Yeah.
That is just absolutely blowing my mind, dude. I played basketball so much in high school. Went to like the YMCA, played pickup ball almost every single weekend. I don't think that no one's ever mentioned that in passing or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless
That's crazy.
Unless I'm
No, I'm not
messing
saying
up
you're
the
wrong.
college with the women's, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, college ball is a different
Wow,
size than NBA.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never even noticed. I've never noticed by playing. I mean, some balls felt a lot better, but they were better like leather, you know, like just a higher quality.
right.
Wow, that's crazy.
So like, I wanna think about what.
but
And it's
to
easier
quickly
to
answer your
shoot
question.
a
I'm
ball.
sorry.
Yeah,
no.
Facilities. That's why.
Facilities.
Facilities. Can't like. Oh, you're gonna add a second soccer net in the middle of the field?
Right.
I mean, I guess you
so,
could do something like that. But
So
But you
what
can
would
change the rulings though.
What
if
would
you
it
wanted
take to like patch something at a facility level, like baseball?
Money.
It strikes me, yeah, like the prospect of money, or like would they just need to do a whole bunch of surveys going out to people who have loved baseball forever and say like, yeah, I know you love the tradition, but let's face it, it's a dying game. It's so
You would have to build new. That one's getting beat. You would have to.
It's really boring for a lot of it.
You would have to build new facilities. I don't think you would upgrade old facilities, but then you're building new facilities for a new sport.
I don't think you can do that
And
because
I think that
the problem
that
is
era in humanity is just gone. You don't build new physical sports at this point,
what people are just
unless AR is gonna be a
People-
physical sport,
people are just gonna be like, what problem is that solving?
right?
There's not a problem associated with like there's a problem in the fact that I think that the average NBA player is like 6'5" or something crazy, right? So I bet you like you go back 50 years, I wonder what the height was in the 80s. You know what the average height of the NBA was.
It's probably 6 foot.
6 foot. You think it's like
Yeah.
So it's like
was
okay.
smaller.
It feels like almost everyone can just dunk the ball without even like trying. It's not even like crazy anymore.
Well, I mean, humans at a professional level
yeah,
are way more athletic
But
than they
imagine, yes,
because of
the technology.
medical
And
technology.
yeah. Imagine if it was like a foot and a half or 2 feet taller.
Yeah.
Like now dunking would be an actual spectacle.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it would be like what? And we've
Right.
seen. I mean, I've seen some of those guys. They could go way higher than 10 feet. You know.
Yeah.
But now to do it is actually something.
But
You know?
to be fair though, when you're playing ball at a national level, like you are so just incredible at managing the ball, and you can literally like
Oh, of
shoot the
course.
court from anywhere,
Oh,
right,
of course,
without
of course,
pressure.
Of course,
like
of course.
if the NBA was like, in 2025 is like, guess what? We're raising the freaking hoop. Like everybody in the league would be able to play with it.
Yeah, if it was all done at the same time, yeah. I mean,
And
also, you gotta-
colleges and high schools wouldn't necessarily have to match that, right? They would just be like, well, hey, when you move on to the NBA, guess what?
you're playing at 12 feet.
You're playing at 12 feet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would
Eventually,
be
though, it
possible.
will trickle down because that's the thing is nobody wants to play on something that isn't what the pros are doing.
so, like,
That's so
so-
true, yeah.
so-
Because you see that in
Yeah,
esports.
What?
Yes, same.
What exactly is it about video games that makes it so crazy to think of the thought that like you just wouldn't need a patch for a while? Because is it just tradition, or is it like we have shorter attention spans?
It's the shorter attention spans, A. And B, I think it's you have the ability and the resources to do so. So not doing so is
it's
is
just
purposely
changing code,
hurting
and you can
us,
revert
you know
it kind
what
of
I
easily.
mean?
You don't have to like put up new, like if you wanted to raise the hoop and then de-raise the hoop, like you would ask a whole bunch of high schools to spend money on new equipment, and then suddenly they have to like put the old equipment back.
Right. Well, with upgrading like physical sports, there is that barrier. So there's nobody's looking at the NFL and being like, hey, you're not innovating the game, so you're hurting us because you're not making it exciting for us. Whereas if a video game developer purposely like does not patch their game and moves on to like the next title or something, like everybody from that game knows they have the ability to patch it for everybody, and they're choosing not to do it. As in our league conversation, right?
Right.
So that's the difference, and that's why esports have to be patched, because
they know they can.
There is no barrier to not doing so.
I also think that because matchmaking exists, where you can't get match made to play baseball,
right,
football, basketball.
Well, you can
what happens,
within an organization.
But what happens is, and because we have access to play it all the time, where I can't play basketball outside in the winter. It's just not going to happen, right?
Right.
So like what happens is the meta gets figured out really, really, really fast, right?
Yeah.
And if all of a sudden basketball just turned into this meta in your group where it's like, you know what? I play with the same 40 guys every week. I know these 3 guys will always make that 3, and I know that I can't actually ever get up to their level. Pretty not interested in playing the game anymore.
Yeah.
They're just better than me.
Find new people.
They're genetically gifted, whatever you want to call it, right? I just can't get better. Oh, 3 points now only count as 2.5 points. Sweet, I'll go back and play.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, a patch came in. I am now 3 inches taller this patch. Oh, sick.
Well, and
I'll go play.
That's a big difference too, right? Because like, think of how many resources you have to spend as a human to get better at a physical sport versus an electronic sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how much more protein you have to consume.
Just even like if you're genetically gifted or not.
And that too.
Like
right?
Dude, what are you gonna do if you were born with like, I could go super extreme. Let's say you're born without legs.
Yeah. That's
awful, but like, you can't play basketball.
Yep. And then now
So
think
it's
of that in the basketball scenario. You raise the hoop 12 inches. Well, somebody that could dunk a 10-inch that wants to be able to dunk on the 10 foot to 12 foot, now they have to get so much stronger.
Yep. And they
to
can't
be able to do it.
They have no resources.
They would not have that same limitation in an esport.
Do y'all remember Oscar Pistorius in the Olympics a while back? Like he was that runner, South African runner who didn't have legs, and he had he had prosthetics.
Oh,
yeah,
like they were the long, like they almost looked like little sides, right? Yeah. They're like, it was crazy with him, and this is of course before he was accused and tried and convicted for murdering his girlfriend. But there was like no right answer on the question of like, is this player of a par with like other Olympic athletes? Like there was the side.
Well, he can't have pain in his prosthetic legs, right? Like he has no. I mean, he might have pain somewhere else, but like,
in the limbs connected to it,
or whatever, right? So
there's that. There's also like, okay, is he just always going to be worse off? Is he more advantaged? Right. Because like, he doesn't feel pain. But is there extra springiness in these prosthetics?
Oh, for sure.
Right. Oh,
yeah. Like the very fact that you have to ask the question to me eliminates it from, like, it just. I'm sorry. It's just it is what it is, right? Like you're just not eligible. And holy crap, like we're almost done with this podcast, but like the next one should be like PEDs in esports.
Yeah.
Like, because people
Adderall,
which is heavily abused in the space. Mm-hmm. Pros have talked about it, but I've had people in our own communities.
But, I mean, it's for disability, a mental disability.
Right. It is.
It's not a performance enhancement.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I was about to say it. For half a second, I'm like, wait. Now I get you're gaslighting me. I like it. Yeah, and that's the thing is I've been diagnosed with ADD. I could go get a prescription.
Yeah, same.
You know what I'm saying? And basically anyone, most people could. But that's not the point. My point is like, if you don't have a prescription, you can't get it. Therefore, you do not have equal opportunity to perform at the same level. right?
Yeah.
And you might have varying different doses. And people like to straw man me with like the caffeine argument of like, well, what if you're on caffeine? It's like that's also, yeah. But I'm like, yeah, but guess what? Anyone can buy caffeine.
Right.
You know, you're not limited by a law or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm caffeine sensitive. I can't have caffeine. Well, at some point, you will have biological disadvantages and biological advantages, and it just is what it is. And truthfully, I believe you should play with the advantages or disadvantages that you're giving. You altering them is it's disingenuous to me. You know what I mean? But like, I'm just not at that competitive level.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going to take Adderall because everyone else is taking Adderall and I want to be better. Like, to me, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like,
know-
you should,
yeah.
like, shouldn't you just want to compete? Anyways, that
know
is
what?
a crazy
Yeah,
topic
you know
that
what's
we
sick?
could go down.
Yeah, I want to talk about it, but I guess we just have to wait till episode 3.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sorry, guys.
Are
Which
we
we're
more
gonna
excited about episode 3 than you are?
Yeah, I'm getting pretty
Put
hungry.
it in the comments. Yeah. Engage with us. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
We will address user questions and comments
Sure.
for episode
Absolutely.
3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Awesome. All right, and that is that. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Edge Gamers Lounge.
Thank you, Edge Gamers Lounge. Thank you, people of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Thank you, Vindy. Thank
Yep.
you, Wolf Clock. I think you're welcome
Thank
from
you.
Spinoza.
Yeah, thank you, Spindle.
Hey,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you, Steve, at Awake with Awake Energy.
Yeah, Awake
Hey,
Energy.
yes.
Is it a
Sponsoring
performance-enhancing
our-
drug for esports? These are the questions. But everyone has access to it. You can all go and purchase Awake Energy. Why aren't you?
Yep. It's better than a 5-hour energy,
It
I'll tell you that.
actually, like, it kicks.
It's
It
pretty
kicks.
good.
Yeah,
it
I
does
like it.
does what you want it to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you over there. He's helped sponsor our esports endeavors. And
Yeah.
so
Cool
yeah.
dude. And this kid's good at Rocket League.
He's getting there.
Yeah.
He's young.
Yeah, he's got hope.
But anyways, all right. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.